So let's go to the 3 news story about the hui today, and let's see what was reported and what went on around the country.
No, mai haere mai. Welcome to 3 News. Fight back together. That was the banner under which thousands of union members gathered in centres across the country today to oppose what they described as the government's attacks on workers' rights. The Workplace Relations Minister responded by saying the government is delivering for all workers, including the more than 85% who are not union members. Zane Small has the developments.
Under the Beehive, under the Sky Tower in central Hamilton and New Plymouth, union members gathered in their thousands today. From nurses,
we all feel the impact of inflation, but wages must rise above it,
to supermarket workers in their woolies green. Unions came together to voice their grievances.
The government's priorities are not with the workers. Hard-working New Zealanders that are facing a cost of living crisis, that are struggling at the moment, they're getting little or no support from this government.
There was dancing. There was singing. And of course, there were placards. The unions are pushing back against the government's removal of fair pay agreements, the reintroduction of 90-day trials for employees, and planned reforms of contracting law.
We've got, we're going to link this in together because they do talk about Uber in this story. And there was quite a good interaction of the working group about Uber and about contractors versus workers and about what the legislation is. Max Harris actually unpacks it quite well. So we don't need to get too much into what the actual legislation is about. We're going to get to that. This is really just about the workers who are out today.
In August, 4 Uber drivers celebrated a legal victory when the courts determined they'd been misclassified as contractors rather than employees. The following month, Workplace Relations Minister Brooke Van Velden said the current process for workers challenging their employment status through the courts can be costly for businesses.
No! We're going to pause on that. Costly for businesses, like fuck the workers. Like this is could be. It's not going to be costly at all for the workers who are made contractors and get no benefit. It's not costly for them, but it's costly for the businesses. You know, it's like what? What?
Yeah, fucking over workers should be expensive.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
Announced plans to clarify contracting law.
Brooke Van Velden's cut and paste contractors law reform bill appears to have been written largely by Uber lobbyists.
As part of the government, I have the mandate to make sure that we are backing business so that business has confidence to go on and employ more people with better jobs.
Union leaders feel the pendulum.
This is this world of Narnia that these people think that, you know, it's basically another version of trickle-down economics. You know, if we treat those at the top really good, we give them everything they want, and we help them and enable their business to grow, then it will trickle down to better paid and more. The research doesn't show that. Again, I'm projecting here, but I think it's Craig Rennie in the clip we're about to see talks about how productivity has gone up in New Zealand over the time, but not the wages to match it. In other words, it's the people at the top who are making more profit now because the productivity has increased and wages haven't kept up with the increase in productivity. So the businesses are making more money, the workers aren't. That's the problem they're facing at the moment. Do you want to say anything before we put play there, Chewy?
Why is Brooke carrying water for an international company? This is happening in pretty much most locations that Uber operates on.
Yeah.
Because they class their drivers as contractors. They don't have to do a whole bunch of shit. They don't have to look after them at all. But we should not be carrying water for these sort of companies. And if this is the talking point that people are happy to go, if you're happy to pay more for it than your Uber Eats, then that's what's going to happen. Cool. If it means the person that brings my Uber Eats has fair pay and conditions, that is a price of doing business. Like valuing your Uber Eats order over the human that goes and gets it for you so you don't leave your house. That says more about your priorities than anything.
The other thing about Uber Eats is the businesses that are on Uber Eats, not the person that brings it to you, maybe they should check themselves as well before they wreck themselves. I'm sure everyone's seen this when you're ordering something on Uber Eats, and it's strangely more expensive than if you ordered it in the shop by itself. And that's because Uber clips the ticket both ways, right? So they're making money off both the delivery driver and money off the shop. Now, my kids like McDonald's. I don't really do McDonald's anymore, but I know that McDonald's, well, certainly a year ago when I used it, it's far more expensive through Uber Eats, and then you pay for the delivery as well. So this is, I don't know. I know maybe it's wrong talking about morals in business, but it seems to be such a bigger conversation than just, treat them well, treat them well. It's like, actually, why are you guys participating? There's a product in New Zealand, I think, called Deliver Easy, certainly in Dunedin. Is that nationwide? Do you know Deliver Easy?
Yeah, it is.
They don't seem to have the same sort of model, and that's based in New Zealand business, I believe. Yet Uber Eats is getting all the uptick because of their technology. They're basically a technology company that's worked how to deliver food rather than a food delivery company. And it seems rotten from their head down. It really does.
I have said to several local eateries that advertise Uber Eats that the delivery aspect to them is so important. Do your own delivery driver.
Yeah.
Every time I've looked at the Uber app and then looked online, it's exactly as you said. It's more expensive. Why order through them? It makes no sense. I mean, Dunedin's a small place. It's easy to go get it. Auckland might be a whole different story. But there are alternatives out there that will keep the money here in New Zealand and pay their workers better than fucking Uber.
Yeah. All right. Now that we've just put in the idea in people's head about fucking Uber, let's keep going.
Has swung too far, though, in favour of employers.
They've definitely got the balance wrong, and that's our real concern.
The Minister responded with her own message to the Council of Trade Unions.
I do think it's important for us to listen to a range of perspectives. The CTU doesn't represent all workers.
But the unions say there's strength in standing together, a tradition that keeps us...
Sorry, I'm trying to pause that. Brooke Van Velden does something really interesting. It's important that we listen to a range of voices. Okay, Brooke, how much are you listening to the CTU or to E2? Because I would think, Chewy, that what she's saying is the people out there should listen to a range of voices while I get my talking points from Uber. How often has she herself done that thing that she's telling others to do and got a variety of opinions? How often is CTU been in her office? Because what she's telling us is don't just listen to the CTU. Okay, sure, fine. Don't just listen to the lobbyists. It goes both ways, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, listen to a range of opinions.
Yeah.
There's one range of opinions standing outside Parliament today.
Yeah.
Did you speak to them? Did you listen to them? Or are you taking meetings from Uber? You say that the unions don't represent all workers. That is correct. How do you gauge the other workers that aren't represented that are apparently okay with being scammed by companies like Uber?
Yeah.
Tell me how that works.
All right, we'll keep going on this. I'm going to text someone and ask them a question as well.
But the unions say there's strength in standing together, a tradition that keeps a song written 100 years ago relevant to this day.
But the union makes us strong.
Does that get your blood boiling, Chewy, hearing that song? Hey,
love a bit
union
of
makes us strong. Thoughts, sir? Let's hear you.
This is a real moment for the unions. Like, I haven't seen them do something like this, at least in recent memory. You see individual unions doing things, absolutely, especially like the nurses union, that sort of thing. They've been really vocal for obvious fucking reasons. But this is the first time that I've seen something like this, a nationwide series of actions that involved all of the unions.
Yeah.
Now, I can speak here in Timaru, I probably gauged that crowd about 500 or 600 people in the middle of a workday in the middle of the week. And I saw a lot of...
Do you mean...
Sorry, Dunedin. I saw a lot of comments online of people going, if this was the weekend, I would have been down there with them.
Yeah.
And these are non-union members. people that just see, like, a lot of this was backing the hospital and against privatization and about workers' rights and against the attack on the foundational aspect of Te Tiriti and all of that sort of thing. I've seen people going, I support all of this sort of stuff. I'm not a union member. I would have been there though. And I've seen a lot of people criticizing exactly what I just mentioned, that it wasn't a single issue. It was a whole bunch of them, like it was a negative.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've seen the unions do something like this. They pulled it together in the space of a couple of weeks. They did it in the middle of a workday, in the middle of the week, and this is the sort of turnout that they were capable of delivering.
Yep. And this is Christchurch.
I'd be worried.
There's Christchurch there as well.
Yeah, I'd be worried if I was Brooke.
Really? Because I couldn't make it. I had a delivery coming that I couldn't move, unfortunately. Do you think? Did the government take the 35,000 message about the hospital to heart? If they did, is this going to drive it, or do we need more and more and more? Which I think they'll get. It will grow.
I kind of see this,
Auckland, by the way,
as a bit of a warning shot. So
right.
Dunedin's thing was very much regional, and it was on the weekend. And then the next thing that you have in the space of a labour action is a stop work meeting, which you could really count this as I said, it had the structure of a meeting, of a union meeting. The thing that happens after a stop work meeting doesn't go well and you don't get your conditions met is a strike. And it feels to me that if the unions are moving as one at this point and they call a strike, it's going to be noticeable. And we haven't had a general strike since 1979.